what should be done then?
So there are a couple of things that can happen when you have trauma to the eye. And of course, there are varying degrees of trauma, right? You can get a bump, you can get or an actual, you can get a softball to the eye or something like that. And obviously there are varying degrees. Superficial bruises, or what people will see as blood on the white part of the eye, whether or not they even got hit or poked, sometimes we get those things without any causation or trauma. They look horrible because you're seeing that burst blood vessel on the eye, but it is like a bruise. It will take time to heal. The body will reabsorb it. Often it's not painful. It just looks really bad. So that's one thing we would usually just watch. It's still good though to have it looked at. And again, this is just that mild kind of case, mostly because we have to decide what caused it. While most of the time there isn't too much to be worried about, there are things, related to blood pressures and other blood conditions that may make you more susceptible to getting something like that. However, if you've had a full-on trauma and like, oh, I got hit in the eye, now I'm seeing all of this blood on the eye, because that's where it would be, is on the white part of the eye. It is important to have that looked at. A lot of times we're looking at the surface, making sure everything's good there. But more importantly, we also need to make sure there isn't damage done internally. And that exam, requires a dilation to take a look inside the eye. And you can get bruising internally as well. So it is important to have that looked at if you get hit for any reason. Again, the eye is a very strong entity. It takes a lot to really penetrate it and hurt it, but you can still do some temporary damage, or if you're not following up regularly, it could, we just don't want to cause any vision loss.
Let's say you get hit in the eye with a baseball, so you had a very significant injury, but you're feeling kind of all right. Is that something that you need to take care of right away? Can you wait till the next day to call the office, or is it
does depend on, it always depends on the degree of the injury, right? So I've seen patients that have had softballs or baseballs hit their eye, but the problem is that they're also hitting the orbit, which is the bone structure. So you always get concerned, were any bones broken? And sometimes you may not know that right away, especially if there's swelling, right? Which can happen. So if you're having a lot of that bruising and painful swelling around the eye, that would be emergency room to check everything. So obviously they're checking the eye, but they're also going to check on all of those bone structures there as well. If it truly was just kind of a surface hit, it's still good. Maybe if you can get in that day, next day would be okay as well. It's really, you're checking eye pressures, you're checking vision. A lot of people don't realize that the vision may go down because we have two eyes and we think we see fine, but we don't realize that the vision in that eye actually isn't all that great. Anything like that can cause inflammation, and then that can cause some vision changes as well. And again, we want to prevent any full-on vision loss. So ideally, it would be one of those things. You don't want to necessarily go, oh, well, just wait and see how that goes. It would be best to come in and have someone take a look.